They say Merlin was a wise old wizard, but what if he began as something much wilder, half mad, half prophet, wandering the forests of a broken Britain? This is the Merlin they don't tell you about. Long before the courts of Camelot, before the sword in the stone, before the Round Table, there were darker and wilder tales. Tales of a wild man in the woods, of a boy without a father who saw dragons beneath the earth. These were Britain's earliest tales. Raw, strange, untamed. Today we step back into those shadowed woods to unravel the roots of Merlin's legend, to meet the mad prophet Myrddin Wyllt and the mysterious Ambrosius Aurelianus. Figures born of war, magic and madness, far from the polished halls of Arthurian romance, because before Merlin became a kingmaker, he was something darker and far more mysterious. The earliest glimpses of Merlin come not from chivalric tales but from ancient Welsh poetry. There he is Myrddin Wyllt, Myrddin the Wild, not a courtly magician but a man driven mad by the horrors of war. The story begins at the Battle of Arthurian, around the year 573. Myrddin, a bard and seer to King Gwenthelu, watched as his lord was slain. The clash was brutal, steel against shield, war cries drowned by the screams of the dying. And as the last banners fell, something inside Myrddin shattered. Overcome with grief, guilt and visions of doom, he fled into the Caledonian forest. The chronicles tell us he cast aside his clothes and wandered naked among the trees, speaking to the winds, living among the beasts. In the dense woodlands, Myrddin became one with the wild. His hair tangled with brambles, his skin streaked with earth and rain. By day he roamed beneath the towering oaks. By night he watched the stars, whispering riddles to the moon. Yet people came. Peasants, nobles, warriors, they sought the madman in the woods, hoping for visions of their fates. Myrddin's prophecies were strange, cryptic, unsettling. I shall prophesy until the end of time a world of sorrow, ruin and flame. He was more than a madman. He was the voice of a crumbling world. His omens mourned not just kings, but the fading of an entire way of life. But in the deep woods, Myrddin was not entirely alone. One figure kept returning, his sister, Gwendid. In the poem Seifoesi, Myrddin a Gwendid Eichwer, the conversation of Myrddin and his sister Gwendid, she comes to him carrying bread and mead, wrapped in cloth against the rain. She dreams strange dreams and brings them to her brother for interpretation. And he, despite his madness, answers with visions of dark futures.
A land torn by war, a world where the innocent suffer and the guilty thrive, a kingdom where betrayal festers beneath gilded crowns.
I saw a tree standing alone in a field. Its branches were withered, its roots bleeding.
The tree is Britain, and the roots bleed because the land is wounded.
Their exchanges are haunting, intimate, brother and sister, one broken by visions, the other trying to anchor him, to understand him. She is his tether to the human world, and yet she too becomes part of the prophecy. Through Gwendid's dreams we glimpse a Britain teetering on the edge of ruin. And through Myrddin's answers we hear not just the voice of a prophet, but the voice of a land that knows it is dying. But Myrddin was not the only figure to shape Merlin's legend. Another tale speaks of a boy called Emrys, or Ambrosius Aurelianus. In Geoffrey of Monmouth's Historia Regum Britanniae, Vortigern, the embattled king, tries to build a fortress atop Dinas Emrys. But every night the stones collapse. His advisors tell him, find a boy with no father, spill his blood on the foundations, only then will the fortress stand. They find such a boy, Ambrosius. But when brought before the king, Ambrosius does something unexpected. He laughs. Why destroy me when the true cause lies beneath? He orders the ground dug deep, and there beneath the hill they uncover a pool. From its depths emerge two dragons, one red, one white. Locked in ferocious battle, the earth trembles. The dragons clash, fang against scale, fire against smoke. The white dragon gains ground, but the red dragon surges, driving the pale beast away into the shadows. After they had witnessed this incredible scene, Ambrosius tells the king, the white dragon is the Saxons, the red dragon the Britons. For a time the white will triumph, but in the end the red will prevail. With this prophecy, Ambrosius claims the fortress for himself. He becomes a boy prophet, a political force, a symbol of a people fighting to reclaim their land. Over the centuries, these figures, Myrddin Wyllt and Ambrosius Aurelianus, began to blur. Poets and chroniclers wove their stories together. Monks copied their verses into fragile manuscripts, each scribe adding a flourish, a twist, a layer. By the time of Geoffrey of Monmouth, Merlin became a fusion, part wild prophet, part wise political advisor, part magical child born of a demon and a mortal woman. A being shaped by Britain's wars, its fears, its hopes. And from this fusion came the Merlin we know today, the wizard of Camelot, the mentor of Arthur, the maker of prophecies. But beneath the robe and staff, beneath the castle walls and polished legends, still echoes that older voice, the madman in the woods, the boy who saw dragons, the last prophet of a wild and vanishing Britain. In our next chapters, we'll step deeper into those tales. We'll walk beside Gwendid as she brings her dreams to her brother in the dark woods. We'll stand at Dinas Emrys as dragons rise from the earth to battle beneath the hill, because Merlin's story isn't just about magic, it's about memory, about a Britain that was, and a Britain imagined. For more forgotten tales of Britain before Camelot, I invite you to follow the links at the end of this video or in the description below. If you've enjoyed this journey, be sure to subscribe, like and share, and join me next time as we follow Merlin deeper into the heart of wild Britain. Keep seeking the stories hidden in the shadows. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time.